Hey everybody, Dave Nasani, CaregiverDave.com. 5 minutes of Dave's Hammock Wisdom. This is my very first Facebook Live in my brand new, used 2003 Mazda Miata sports car, 2-seat roadster. I tell you, there were only 2 times in my life where I really drove my dream car. And the first time was when I inherited my brother's hand-me-down, because he went into the Marine Corps, and my mother inherited it, but she wanted a Cadillac, so I inherited her son's car twice. And when you're 16, it was a pretty cool car to be driving in 1972. Actually, it was 1970. 66 Chevelle SS 396. And all of a sudden I became popular because I'm the guy with the car, and all of a sudden girls started looking at me. So it was cool. And when I graduated at 18 years old, my cousin and I wanted to drive to New York, and we didn't have any money, so I sold my Chevelle, what was I thinking, for $1,500. And we got a Volkswagen. We both drove to New York and back. When I came back, my father had a car ready for me. He sold me a 68 Impala 4-door. Not quite the same thing, but it's taken me till I was 65 years old when my granddaughter needed a car, and my car reached 100,000 miles, but it'll go for $250 because it's a Hyundai. And so I said, well, now this might be a good time for me to finally buy the car of my dreams, a little sports car. I always had my eye on a Corvette, but who can afford a Corvette? And who, you know, you're always afraid to drive it, afraid someone's gonna mess with it or scratch it. But this was a nice compromise. 2003, $6,000. How could you turn a deal like that down with only 64,000 miles? So it's got a lot of life back in it. So my 5 minutes of wisdom today, and I hope you can hear me with all the wind, is that, you know, tomorrow is not promised. And you should live your life like it's the last day on earth, like it's the last week on earth, the last month on earth, the last year on earth. What would you do differently? What decisions would you make differently that you would not have made if you knew that? Maybe, hi Marie, my sister Marie. Wow. I'm always surprised when she watches my videos. Thank you. And Stacy, hi. Anyway, what decisions would you make differently if you knew that this was it? You know, would you go out and buy a red sports car that only seats 2 people, that you can barely stick your handicapped wife in, and her wheelchair will barely fit in the trunk? But that's okay. It'll fit. And she's happy for me. I'm not having a midlife crisis, right? Despite it being a red sports car. That happens, I think, in your 40s. So I'm way past that. So I would encourage everybody to think about that. You know, I hear about couples who are, you know, skipping and saving, and they're living like paupers, and you never know that they had any money because they're driving an old beat-up car, 200,000 miles, and when they die, you realize they were worth millions. Just saving for a rainy day, saving to give their kids an inheritance. Well, those kids never really appreciated it because they didn't earn it. Now, my children are all wonderful, of course, but I'm sure they don't want to, you know, have me suffer to try to save money for them to inherit, because what's the worst case scenario? That I get sick or get a disease and they got to take care of me for the rest of my life? No, that's even worse. So go out and do likewise. All right? See you later, guys.